Hi future officers, a warm welcome to all of you in the today's CT360 series session on EduTap, in which we cover the most important G and ESI current affairs from the exam point of view. And let me tell you guys that all these sessions of CT360 also includes the major coverage of one of the very important source of current affairs, that is the PIB. So guys, when we talk about the today's session, today we are going to cover the most important news articles from 1st to 3rd of October 2024, and all these articles will be really very important for all of you if you're preparing for RBI, NABARD and IRDAI exam, right? And let me tell you that all the people who are preparing for the phase 2 of the exam, let me tell you that the topics that we are going to discuss are also going to help you out in your phase 2 exam as well. So very good evening to all the people who have joined us live. So Tanya, Pallu and all the other people who are there live with us. So warm welcome to all of you in the today's session. And before starting the session, guys, if you are still new to our YouTube channel, kindly subscribe to it and press the bell icon to receive all the latest updates of the courses and videos offered by us. And you can also join our Telegram channel to get the access to the PDF of the sessions. In order to join the Telegram channel, you are just required to click on the link which is given in the description of the session, and then you will be really able to download the PDFs from the Telegram channel, or the PDFs of our CT360 session and other sessions which are being taken by EduTap on its YouTube channel, right? So coming to the most important point, that is the agenda of the today's session. So today we are going to cover the following topics, which include Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Swachhta Hi Seva campaign, and some other important news articles which are relevant only for phase 1 of the exam. Okay? The first two articles are relevant for both phase 1 and 2, and the remaining one are only relevant for phase 1 of the exam. Okay? So I think it's a good time to start with the today's session. So good evening Vishwajit, Shalini and all the people. I really believe all of you are really preparing well for your upcoming exams. ठीक है जी? So बढ़ते हैं अपने पहले category के ऊपर, that is the topics which are relevant for both phase 1 and phase 2. And the first topic that we are going to cover here is the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. So guys, let me tell you that Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has recently lauded the 10 years of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. So Swachh Bharat Abhiyan has completed its 10 years since it was being launched. And when we talk about the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, guys, it is basically a national level Abhiyan which was being launched by the Government of India, covering 4041 statutory towns in order to clean the roads, streets and the infrastructure of our nation. And when we talk about this particular Abhiyan, so it was launched by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji on 2nd of October 2014 to make India clean. So the major objective of launching this Swachh Bharat Abhiyan was to make India clean, so that we can really make our surroundings clean, which is really going to impact a lot on the lives of the people which are living here, right? So for the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, the Abhiyan was being launched with the aim to provide sanitation facilities to every family, including toilets, solid and liquid waste disposal systems, village cleanliness and safe and adequate drinking water supply. And we were having the target that we will be able to achieve the target of making India clean by 2nd of October 2019. And in order to accelerate the efforts of the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, the Government of India also come up with a very important scheme which was being launched on the same day, that is on 2nd of October 2014 by Prime Minister Modi ji, and that was the Swachh Bharat mission. So my dear friends, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan was basically launched, as the name suggests, that we wanted to make India clean, and that is why this campaign and this Abhiyan was being launched. And we also targeted to achieve the Swachh Bharat by 2019 as a fitting tribute to the Mahatma Gandhi ji on his 150th birth anniversary that we had celebrated in year 2019. So these are the important things that we must cover from the exam point of view from this particular campaign, right? Apart from that, guys, let's move on to the next important part. Let me tell you that this year the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan has been there, and we celebrate Swachh Bharat Divas every year on 2nd of October. So this is a very important point that you should remember from the exam point of view. And let me tell you that in order to again accelerate the efforts of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Government of India come up with another important campaign, that is Swachhta Hi Seva campaign. And this Swachhta Hi Seva campaign has been wrapped up on the Swachh Bharat Divas that we celebrate every year on 2nd of October. तो हर साल हम 2 अक्टूबर को सेलिब्रेट करते हैं स्वच्छ भारत दिवस, दैट इज द बर्थ एनिवर्सरी ऑफ महात्मा गांधी जी. ठीक है. सो द कैंपेन वाज लॉन्च्ड बाय द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया and it has now concluded on the occasion of Swachh Bharat Divas, that is on 2nd of October. And this year this campaign was launched with the theme of Swabhav Swachhta Sanskar Swachhta, that is 4S. So ये 4S थीम के साथ इस बार स्वच्छता ही सेवा कैंपेन को लॉन्च किया था, एंड दिस कैंपेन वाज लॉन्च इन ईयर 2017 एंड दैट टाइम इट वाज हैविंग इन इट्स इनॉग्रल एडिशन द थीम ऑफ स्वच्छता ही सेवा. सो यहाँ पर आपको थीम दिए गए हैं बाकी सारे और टाइमलाइंस के, बाकी सारे ईयर्स के, बट लेट मी टेल यू दैट दिस ईयर द थीम इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, दैट इज स्वभाव स्वच्छता संस्कार स्वच्छता. And you must have seen in the news articles that there are so many ministries, departments across the country who are basically launching the cleanliness drives in their departments and across all their institutions to make this campaign a real hit so that we can really make our surroundings clean. Apart from that, when we talk about the tenure of this particular campaign, so the campaign for this year has having a tenure of September 17 to October to 2024. That means this campaign was launched on 17th of October and now it has concluded on 2nd of October 2024. So guys, when we talk about this campaign, it basically reminds us that cleanliness is not just a task basically, but it is a shared duty. It is a way of life that impacts the health and dignity of everyone who are living in our nation and even across abroad. ठीक है, but let me tell you that this Swachhta Hi Seva campaign is around India only, and the campaign has brought really all the status of the society, urging them to take charge of their surroundings and work towards a cleaner and healthier country. So guys, very important part that we need to remember from here, that what is the theme of this campaign, that is Swabhav Swachhta Sanskar Swachhta, and the tenure of the campaign is very important, that is September 17 to October to 2024. Now when we talk about the three key objectives with which this Swachhta Hi Seva campaign has been launched in year 2024, it includes reviving the neglected areas, that is those areas which were not been touched in this particular campaign in the previous year. So these areas have been targeted as a part of this particular year, and we also aim to encourage public participation. As I already told you that it is not just a task, it is basically a shared duty of all the people who are living in our country, and also to improving the welfare of the sanitation workers. See guys, sanitation workers are really very important because these are those people who are really working for the cleanliness of the surroundings. So we really require some efforts in order to improve the welfare for the benefit of the sanitation workers. And when we talk about the history of the Swachhta Hi Seva campaign, that is also required to be covered from exam point of view. So this campaign was launched under the Swachh Bharat mission and was launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji in year 2017 to mobilize the citizens of India towards enhanced cleanliness and sanitation. As we have already covered in the previous slide, that yes, we are basically focusing on the cleanliness only with the help of this particular campaign. Okay, and this also seeks to galvanize widespread engagement in the Swachh Bharat mission. Now guys, one more important point, when we talk about the Swachhta Hi Seva campaign for year 2024, there are some key pillars under this particular campaign that we need to remember. The first pillar is cleanliness target units Shramdan activities, in which we are basically working on the time bound transformation of target units and the general cleanliness. These cleanliness target units are those neglected areas which have not been touched till now, and that is why they have been catered as a part of this particular campaign. The second pillar is Safai Mitra Suraksha Shivers. That is, we will be working on preventive health checkups and social security coverages, right? And the third one is the Swachhta Mein Jan Bhagidari, which basically promotes public participation, awareness and advocacy of cleanliness in our country. So guys, these are the important points that we need to cover about this campaign from the exam point of view. I hope that all of you are very much clear with this campaign, right? So आप सभी को इस कैंपेन के बारे में सारी इंपॉर्टेंट इंफॉर्मेशन यहाँ पर हमने दे दी है. अब हम बढ़ते हैं अपने नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट की तरफ. सो काइंडली अवॉइड दिस पार्ट. सो नाउ लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट news articles which are relevant for only phase 1 of the exam, and what exactly these are. So the very first thing is the Surgeon Vice Admiral Aarti Sen has become first woman to take over as the Director General of Armed Forces Medical Services. Let me tell you guys that this Surgeon Vice Admiral has become the first ever woman officer to take over as a Director General, and that is why this point is very very important from the exam point of view. When we talk about this DGAFMS, so basically this particular person is directly responsible to the Ministry of Defense. It is directly answerable to the Ministry of Defense for all the efforts, for all the matters which are related to the armed forces. आर्म फोर्सेस से रिलेटेड जो भी हेल्थ मैटर्स हैं, सो ऑल दीज मैटर्स आर बेसिकली catered by this particular post only. And when we talk about Aarti Sareen ji, so she is having the rare distinction of serving in all the three branches of the Indian Armed Forces. That means she has served in all Indian Navy, Indian Army and Indian Air Force. तो यहाँ पर तीनों ही फोर्सेस के अंदर she has served, and now she has been appointed as the first woman to take over as the Director General of the Armed Forces Medical Services. So this is something that we need to remember from exam point of view. Let's move on to the next part. But before moving on to the next part, guys, can anybody tell me that who is the first Indian Navy women helicopter pilot? Can anybody tell me the name of this person? The Indian Navy women helicopter pilot. So basically, the right answer to this question is Anamika Rajiv. So we have already covered this part. So as we are talking about the first woman in terms of defense forces, so definitely we can revise these kind of current affairs as well. Okay. So let's move on to the next important topic, guys. That is once again from the defense only. That is the Chanakya Defense Dialogue. So Chanakya Defense Dialogue 2024 will be taking place on 24th and 25th October. And this particular dialogue will be providing a platform to facilitate the depth discussions, to foster strategic partnerships, and to contribute to the formulation of actionable insights for enhancing national security and development. And this particular dialogue will be organized by Indian Army along with CLAWS. What exactly CLAWS is? This is a Center for Land Warfare Studies. So along with the CLAWS, Indian Army will be organizing the second edition of Chanakya Defense Dialogue 2024, and this year the theme of the dialogue will be drivers in nation building, fueling growth through comprehensive security. So guys, these are the important details. Whenever such kind of important dialogue or conference is taking place, we have to make sure that we remember that what exactly is the theme of this particular conference or the dialogue or the event which is taking place. Okay? So this will be taking on 24th to 25th October, but yes, the theme has already been released, so that is why we have to cover that from the exam point of view. Now moving on to the next part. So the next part is the observance of International Day of Older Persons. So International Day of Older Persons is being celebrated every year on 1st of October. So 1st October every year has been celebrated as International Day of Older Persons. Okay? And let me tell you, my dear friends, that this particular day basically acknowledges the contribution, the wisdom, dignity and the needs of our senior citizens and their role in our society. And this year, that is why the theme of the International Day of Older Persons is Aging with Dignity, the importance of strengthening care and support system for older persons worldwide. So this is the theme for International Day of Older Persons. Additionally, guys, let me tell you that this date was basically selected to be celebrated as the International Day of Older Persons on 14th December 1990, when the United Nations General Assembly designated October 1st as the International Day of Older Persons. And according to the United Nations, the life expectancy, guys, when we talk about the life expectancy, in 1950 it was just 50 years. That is a normal length of life that a person lives, right? But when we talk about this decade, so now we are basically able to enhance the life expectancy of the people living across the world, and now the life expectancy around the world is 75 years. Taken half of the world's countries, it is 75 years. And this basically indicates that by 2030, the population of the older persons, they are projected to outnumber the youth which are there across the world. And this is really going to be more rapid in the developing countries, right? So यहाँ पर दो important चीजें हैं. First important thing is that what exactly is the date on which we celebrate this day, and what is the theme of this particular day, that is Aging with Dignity. Moving to the next part. So the Ministry of Defense has organized blood donation camp on the National Voluntary Blood Donation Day. And when we talk about the National Voluntary Blood Donation Day, it is again celebrated every year on October 1. And this year we are having the slogan for the celebration of this day, that is celebrating 20 years of giving. Thank you, blood donors. Celebrating 20 years of giving blood. Okay? So that is why on the occasion of National Voluntary Blood Donation Day, they are celebrating 20 years of giving. Thank you, blood donors. That is a campaign of the slogan. That is a campaign slogan for this year. Apart from the National Voluntary Blood Donation Day, we can also now remember the World Blood Donor Day, because it is once again correlated with that particular news article, right? So the World Blood Donor Day we celebrate every year on 14th of June. So on every year 14th June we celebrate the World Blood Donor Day. Okay? So I hope that this is clear to all of you guys. Now let's move on to the next part, that is the International Day of Non-Violence 2024. And this year we are celebrating International Day of Non-Violence 2024. Every year we celebrate this day on October 2, and this marks the birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi ji. As guys, this particular birthday of Mahatma Gandhi, who was the leader of the Indian independence movement and the pioneer of the philosophy and strategy of non-violence, and that is why on the birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi ji we celebrate every year International Day of Non-Violence. And this year we are having a kind of title to this particular day as Say No to Violence. Okay? Let me tell you, officially on the as per United Nations it is not the theme, but yes, they have mentioned this particular title for the celebration of International Day of Non-Violence 2024, and we are celebrating this day since 2007. Serving as a reminder of the power of non-violence in shaping societies. So guys, these are the most important details that we are required to remember from exam point of view. And now the last news article of the today's session, that we all know that famous West Indian cricketer Dwayne Bravo, he has recently announced his retirement from all the forms of cricket, and now he will be joining Kolkata Knight Riders in the Indian Premier League as its mentor, and that is something that we can remember. So Dwayne Bravo is associated with which country? He is from West Indies. Right? So that's all from the today's session, and now it's a time for all of you to basically focus upon the MCQs. Let me tell you, my dear friends, that just covering this particular part is not at all relevant. See, just covering these current affairs, just covering the current affair is not sufficient, because we are also required to make sure that we are revising them. We are also able to attempt the MCQs, and that is why we are coming up with the MCQs for all of you. And here is the very first question for all of you that you have to tell me. The first question is on the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, and you have to tell me which of the following statements are incorrect about the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. So quickly go through these statements and tell me the right answer in the chat box. So first statement, that it was launched on 2nd of October 2014 to make India clean and has completed 10 years. Second statement is basically to provide the aim of this Abhiyan has been mentioned, that is to provide sanitation facilities and to achieve this target of Clean India by October 2019. The third statement is to accelerate the efforts to achieve universal sanitation coverage and to put focus on sanitation. Prime Minister launched the Swachh Bharat mission on 2nd October 2014. So guys, which of the following statements are incorrect? Quickly tell me in the chat box. So Vicky, do not worry about the PDF. First try to answer the question that is present on your screen, and we will be providing you the PDF of the session as well on the Telegram channel, right? So here guys, the right answer is option E, that is none of the above is the right answer. Let's move on to the next question here, and I can see that Bharat, Advitiya and all other people have answered the question correctly. Well done guys. So it's really important for all of us to make sure that whether we are able to answer the question after covering this session or not, right? Let's move on to the next question. So the next question is about the International Day of Older Persons. So it has been celebrated every year on which date, and what is the theme of this year? So when we talk about International Day of Older Persons, so we celebrate it every year on 1st of October, right? And this year the theme is Aging with the Dignity. The importance of strengthening care and support system for older persons worldwide, and that is why the right answer will be option A to this particular question. So all the people who have answered option A, that's really great. And if still you were not able to answer the question correctly, do not worry, I am having another question for all of you. And here is a question on the Swachhta Hi Seva campaign. So Swachhta Hi Seva campaign has been recently launched. You have to identify the statement which is incorrect about this particular campaign. So the first statement is the campaign is a pivotal campaign under the Swachh Bharat mission launched by Prime Minister Modi ji in 2014. The campaign for 2024 was launched with the theme Bhav Swachhta Sanskar Swachhta. Then we are having the third statement. The campaign aims to mobilize the citizens of India towards enhanced cleanliness and sanitation. So these are the three statements here. So first statement, you can see that the launch year has been mentioned 2014, but let us again go to the flashback and try to identify that what exactly was the launch year of this campaign. It was launched in year 2017 by Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, and that is why first statement is incorrect. So we were required to identify incorrect statement. So the right answer for this question is option A, that is one only. This is the right answer. Absolutely right, Advitiya, Lakshay, Bharat, all of you have given me the right answer to this question, that is option A. So guys, that was all the question from the today's session, and now it's the time for the homework question for all of you. And this is the homework question for all of you for this particular session. So you have to identify which of the following statements are correct about this particular campaign, that is Swachhta Hi Seva campaign. तो इस सेशन को आप कंप्लीट करने के बाद दोबारा से स्लाइड पर आइएगा एंड डू लेट मी नो your answer in the comment section of this session, and it is mandatory for all of you to make you analyze that whether you guys are able to retain all the important facts or figures about this part or not. ठीक है जी? So let's move on to the homework question. Let me tell you that all the people who will be telling me the right answer of that homework question, they will be the star performers of the today's session. Like when we talk about the star performers of the previous session, so I will be discussing that, but before that let us try to understand the answer of the previous homework question. That was on the Swachh Bharat mission which was launched, so we were required to identify incorrect statements. But let me tell you that all these statements which were mentioned here are, all of them are correct here with respect to Swachh Bharat mission. So that is why the right answer to this question was option E, that is none of the above. And these are the star performers, which includes Abhay, Rupal, Shubhi, Batman, Pratik, Aditya, Anjali, Amitabh, and the Dream Sashira. So all these people have answered the question correctly, and these are the star performers. And if you also want to be the star performer for the today's session, all of you have to make sure that you are telling me the answer in the comment section of this particular session. Okay, ji? So that was all from the today's session, my dear friends. And I believe that this session was really useful and fruitful to all of you. If you are having any queries, you can always mention your queries in the chat box, and you can also mail us your queries at hello@edutap.co.in. You can also call us at 8146207241. So Harsh was asking, sir, IRDI में भी इतना deep आता है? So basically let me tell you that in the IRDI exam the questions are not that too deep as they are being asked in the regulatory body exams like the RBI or the NABARD exam. So वहां पर थोड़ा सा the questions will be more from the surface level of the topic and not from the in-depth of the topic. ठीक है? I hope all your queries are been addressed now. So guys, we will be meeting you in the next session. Till then, stay happy.